everyone, my name's Tamika. This is a Library of Tomes where I talk to you about all the bookish things going on in my life. Hi, welcome back. How are you? I am very tired. I am always tired at this point. I just feel like that's my constant state from now on. So today I am doing another collab with my beautiful friend Nicole from Who Picked This Book. This is audiobook recommendations. I also wanted to do this because I am kind of tying back to my Audiobook 101 video. So if you watched that and you're now watching this one, thank you. Hi, thank you for watching. And if you are just here because you are subscribed to me, also thank you. Hi, how are you? Thank you for being here. So when I was coming up with my list of collab ideas for October and Nicole agreed to do a collab with me, I knew I wanted to have an audiobook recommendation on this list. Nicole and I both read a ton of audiobooks, and I really wanted to just share Nicole for one, because I love her. She does so many live streams and she is so amazing, and she reads so many books every month, and a lot of those are audiobooks. So I'm really glad that she agreed to do this topic with me and that we're now doing it together. So without further ado, I'm going to share my audiobook recommendations and then go on over to Nicole's channel, which I will link in the description, and please watch hers because I love her a lot. So the first one that I want to talk about is The Stopover by T.L. Swan. Now, you might have heard me talk about The Takeover quite a bit on my channel, but this is the Stopover, which is the first book in the series, and I actually listened to this back in February, and I absolutely love this book. This follows two characters whose names are completely escaping me. I am sorry. And they are on this plane, and they have a delay of some sort. So they have to like have a stopover overnight, and they end up having a one-night stand. And then about a year later, they come back into each other's lives because she is now working for his company and he just wants to bang her, and that's just the end of it. So they have a very heated relationship. They have chemistry like coming off the page. They are so adorable. The narrators for this one are really, really good. And personally, I just really loved the way the story was told. I loved everything about it because this one is one of the only ones I've ever found that has done a journalist somewhat accurately and didn't bore me. That's a big problem for me when I found a journalist or some kind of like media person. They're just done very poorly in my opinion, and this one was done really well, and I also was entertained by the entire story, so it was really fun. Eventually we find out that there is a media company trying to steal stories, and they are stealing stories from the big company that she works for. So she starts writing these fake stories and not actually posting them, but letting them be taken so that we can find out who is giving these stories out and who is undercutting the company that they're working for. So it's really fun, it's really entertaining, and I really, really liked it. And their romance is adorable. Not as good as Tristan and Claire's, but still pretty cute. So the next audiobook that I wanted to recommend is Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. This one is such a beautiful story. So Regretting You is a really beautiful story, and it's also a very tragic one. This one follows a mother and daughter who both lose the father and husband in this family. And this one is just a really beautiful story, watching a mother-daughter duo kind of find their footing and find their way after this important person in their lives passes away. And all while both of those characters are developing their own romantic relationships. And what I really loved about this one is the way that the story is told in dual timelines. So it's told back and forth over two different spans, while also including the daughter's life and her trying to figure things out, and her struggling with thinking that she's the reason that they died. And not only do they lose the husband, but they also lose her sister, the mother's sister, the aunt to the daughter. So it is a very beautiful story, and I absolutely loved this book, and I really recommend checking it out. And I also really recommend the audiobook. I think it was done so well, and the two different voices for the two main characters is beautiful, and I loved it. I loved getting both of those perspectives from those two characters and watching them both struggle so hard with something that was out of their control. So the next one that I want to talk about is So You Want to Talk About Race, and this book is so good, and I really recommend everyone read this book. I don't care if like you have just started your journey into learning about the Black Lives Matter movement and being a better ally, or you are a seasoned person and you have read so many books. I still recommend you read this one. This one is so good. This is a book that I am so happy I read. I learned so much from this. This one really touches on what it's like to talk about race and about race in general, and what it's like to be a person of color in America and systematic racism. This one really dives into a lot of that stuff. It's fairly easy to ingest, and I really felt like this one was a good beginner point, because I did read this when I was a beginner, really learning and just getting into trying to figure out how to be a better ally. So next up we have the Ice Planet Barbarian series, and I'm putting the entire series on this list because this series is really good and it's really cute and they're just hilarious to read. These are alien romances. This follows a ship of girls who were kidnapped and then they get stranded on a different island, they don't get stranded on an island, they get stranded on a different planet. And this one it's so fun. I recommend the entire series. I'm on book like 6 now and I really like them. I think they are a lot of fun and they are absolutely hilarious, and it is just so fun to watch these different species come together, and it's just really cute. So essentially what happens is they have to get this kwi, which goes like into their chest or into their heart, and it's like a worm, and that keeps them alive on this planet where it's like below freezing, and there's like a kwi sickness or some kind of sickness where you will die if you don't get your kwi, and your kwi will resonate, so it will vibrate when it comes near your mate, and your mate is the one that is the person you're most likely to have like the best success rate with children with. And I loved it. As someone who hates children, someone who doesn't want children, someone who thinks the idea of being mated to produce children is disgusting, I'm surprised I liked this one, but I really liked it and it was really cute and I recommend it. So please go check it out. Next up we have Rosemarys Baby, which is a classic horror story that I just really wanted to recommend because I love horror, I do, and I loved listening to this audiobook. So this follows Rosemary and her husband, and they get into this like elite hotel place, or not hotel, it's not a hotel, what am I talking about? It's like a condo situation. And everyone that has lived in that place has passed away, and there's no good history there. It's really bad history in the entire building, or not in the entire building, but in the suite that they're in, or maybe the entire building, I can't remember. Rosemary and her husband actually develop a relationship with a family down the hall, and they become really good friends, and eventually Rosemary becomes pregnant, and she is so sick during her pregnancy, and obviously the fun stuff is when she has the baby. So I really recommend checking this out. It was very fun to read, and it was honestly, it was so creepy, and I really recommend it, and I really liked it. So please go check it out. I think it's such a good book. And then the last one that I'm going to talk about is the Black Dagger Brotherhood, which is anyone surprised? Because I'm not. I love the Black Dagger Brotherhood. This is one I'm going to continue recommending forever and a day because I just cannot get enough of them. I can't get enough of the Black Dagger Brotherhood, which is a brotherhood of vampires, and they are warriors. They are finding their fated mates, and it is just so fun. It is such a fun story. Our first book follows Wrath and Beth. Wrath is the king of the vampires. Beth is a half human, half vampire. Her dad's dying wish is for Wrath to help her transition because she is only a half-blood. So being half human and half vampire, she is more likely to die when she transitions, and his blood is absolutely pure, so his blood will actually help her transition better. And he's like, no fam, we're not doing it. And then eventually he's like, okay, we'll do it, and he ends up helping her transition, and it's their romance, and the series just goes from there. It is so much fun. I so recommend it. The narrator for these books, perfection, beautiful, loved it. So if you've not read it, please check it out. I love the Black Dagger Brotherhood. So those are all of my audiobook recommendations. I really recommend you check all of them out. Obviously, I love audiobooks. Are we surprised? Please go check out Nicole. I love her so very much. All my links are in the description. I have Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads all linked down below. And if you want to join us and be my friend on an even closer level, come join our Discord, because Izzy made a Discord. It's down in the description. I love the Discord. We are chatting there all the time. And yeah, with that being said, I will see you all in my next video. Bye everyone.